right, good morning, trader. It is Monday, 6 a.m., March 29th. I am tired as holy hell this morning. I did not sleep last night, so if I'm a little bit delirious, don't mind me, just roll with it. In any event, let's take a look and see what's going on in the S&P. Okay, so let me pull this down. So you can see on Friday we closed on a very, very heavy spike. That means that the market was still imbalanced and therefore it had not established value yet, and value was yet to be determined. However, we have found value here in the overnight session at least, and it looks like we will be opening within the spike, which is bullish. So basically what we're looking for, anytime we close on a really big spike like that, like I said, the market is still imbalanced and therefore it has yet to price itself in. So the following events determine whether or not this spike has been confirmed or not. Had we broken below the base of the spike and traded back inside of Friday's value area, then the spike would not be confirmed, and therefore the imbalance would have been rejected, which would be very bearish. However, since we bounced here right at the base of the spike and we are remaining in balance within it, that confirms the spike, so the imbalance is valid, and therefore I'm still maintaining a bullish bias. And just so you know the context, like had it opened up near the top of the spike and then found balance above it, that would be the most bullish outcome. So important contextual things that you always want to be keeping in mind as you're doing your analysis. So anyways, like I said, the profile in this overnight session is very, very neutral. You can see the very clear D shape on it. Anytime you have a D shape, it basically just means the market is in balance. Like I said, though, this is my line in the sand. If we break below 39.35, back below the base of the spike, then I'd be switching my bias to bearish, and I'd be looking for a retest of Friday's low. So that is pretty much what I've got for you today. So let's take a look at my bias. So my bias today, I am looking for us to remain in balance, retest Friday's high with a potential breakout to the upside. Note that we are still very close to the all-time high. If we look at the daily chart, the all-time high is, let's see, we're at 39.45, and the all-time high is at 39.78. So we're only like 30 points or so from the all-time high, which is definitely doable. I mean, we could retest the all-time high today. In fact, I would say that if we retest and take out Friday's high, I would pretty much think it would be a given that we would retest the all-time high with a potential break to the upside. Thursday, Friday, both extremely, extremely bullish. I mean, look at the size of those candles on the daily chart here. So, pretty nuts. Okay, I'm gonna bust out a couple slides from the weekend wrap here in case you missed it. If you don't know what the weekend wrap is, it is my weekend show on YouTube. It is every Sunday at 8:30 Pacific time, and I go over market news. I give some good setups for the week and that kind of stuff. How do I trade like that? What do you mean? What do you mean how do I trade like that? All right, in any event, so the really big news last week was Goldman Sachs liquidated 10.5 billion worth of equities on Friday before the open in these massive, massive block trades. So they were selling a lot in the Chinese sector, so 6.6 billion of Baidu, Tencent Music, and VIP shop holdings. They also sold 3.9 billion in Viacom CBS, Discovery, Farfetch, and GSX Techedu, the ticker's GSX. So yeah, really, really big selling from Goldman Sachs on Friday. Oh, so much going on. I hear that a lot, and there's really not a lot going on. If you're looking at this, or if you're referring to my daily chart here, there's really not a lot going on. We've got candlesticks. We have a volume profile on each candlestick. We have a volume down here, a composite profile, and the rest are just key levels and VWAP. That's it. I mean, I don't I understand that as a stock trader, you guys probably aren't very used to trading with as many levels, key levels, support and resistance zones, that kind of stuff as futures traders are. But in futures, you're you're dealing with so much more money because of the leverage that you really have to be aware of all the important key levels, because if you're not, literally you're going to lose hundreds and hundreds of dollars in minutes. So that's why, as futures, because you're trading on much faster time frames, you're going to be dealing with a lot more key levels than you would with stocks. So anyways, back to the news here. The big thing that's going on right now, you've probably heard, is the ship that's stuck in the Suez Canal. So that is choking off some massive, massive supply lines. You can see my chart in the bottom left here. So that is the current traffic jam in the Suez Canal, which is outrageous. So, yeah. Anyways, like I said, that's gonna definitely be affecting crude oil prices as well as shrink global supply chains a bit. The banking sector also increased after the Federal Reserve announced that most banks would be allowed to resume increasing dividends and share repurchases after June 30th. So that's all the big news. Also, this is really, really exciting, guys. I hope you're listening. So, Sophie, the trading platform, announced that they're going to allow retail investors to buy into IPOs before shares officially start trading. So, if you know historically, that's only been something that's been offered to, very, very large banks, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, that kind of stuff, for the people that are actually listing the stock. But they are letting retail investors get in on IPOs now before shares actually start trading. So that means you could make some serious, serious money. I know you guys know the IPO market's been hot the past year or two. Um, Economic calendar, nothing big today. Tomorrow we have consumer confidence. Wednesday we have the ADP non-farm employment change, as well as crude oil inventories. Thursday we've got the initial jobless and ISM manufacturing PMI. And Friday is a holiday, just so you know. It's also non-farm payrolls. No earnings this week. We do have 3 IPOs on Thursday. We have Compass Inc., which is a defense contractor, Coursera Inc., which is online courses like Udemy, and then Frontier Airlines. They are also IPOing on Thursday under the ticker FRNT on the NASDAQ. So here's the sector analysis for last week. I'm not going to get into this very much. It just shows, large caps were strong. Industrials, basic materials, utilities, real estate, and tech. Those were the strong sectors last week. If you want more information, go ahead and jump on YouTube and check out the weekend wrap. You can see the full video and analysis there. So here are my trade ideas for the week. So I have no idea what these are doing in pre-market. We'll take a look here, but I was looking for a midterm swing trade on GameStop here. Let's see what it's doing in the live market. All right, so GME. All right, so pre-market, it has gone up. Let me get rid of, sorry, I was messing with some different volume profiles yesterday, so let me get rid of these. Okay, so you can see that on GameStop here, we had this really nice spike on Friday on very good volume. So that's what I like to see. If price is increasing and volume is increasing, that's good momentum. You don't necessarily want to engage if price is going up but volume is going down. You can see in pre-market we're up 3 cents, nothing to call home about. But basically, what I'm looking for is for us to remain in balance here. I want to see a retest of this previous pivot high, potential breakthrough, and then for us to get back into this previous range right here, this 220 to $300 level. So, like I said, it's contingent on us taking out this pivot high at 214, but there is potential for a long opportunity there. Also, Bitcoin. I called out Bitcoin on Friday. I really hope that some of you guys took it. I got on early before the morning brief on Friday morning, and I was just like, hey, this is like the best buy point you're gonna get. I hope you take this. So, whoops, sorry about that. Delete. Go away note. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, so this is Bitcoin, and actually, hold up. That is not the ticker I wanted. This is the ticker I wanted. Okay. So, you can see that we had a nice healthy bounce right here at the $50,000 level. So that is our big psychological number, and you can see the clear signs of aggression coming up from that level. So this is all the chop that we've been in since we broke above 60,000 and then traded back inside the range. You can see that we came back up here with strength. We retested the trend line, got a very nice breakout right here. Came back, consolidated, and then we retested this previous area of consolidation before breaking out again. So right now, we're sitting right at about 58,000, and we're consolidating up here, which is good. That means we're remaining in balance. So basically, I'm looking for the market to continue to balance. I want to see us come back up, retest the $60,000 level, and break out to the upside. Note that we do have a weak high right here. So that is definitely in our favor as well, because anytime we have a weak high, we know that people are still willing to buy at higher prices. So that's Bitcoin there. The other trade recommendation that I mentioned was on SOI. This is a fracking company, and this is, because of the squeeze in oil right now. Hey, what's up, Wandering? Because of the the supply chain issues with the ship that's blocking the Suez Canal right now, oil prices are going to likely be affected by that. So this is SOI. You can see that we had this very nice breakout. I actually called this out right before it happened. And then we came back, consolidated, and then dropped back into the range. We are remaining in balance here, though. This is a weak high. It's a little bit hard to tell on this high of time frame, but we have all these unfilled gaps here as well, which is beautiful. I like unfilled gaps. They make very, very good targets because the market likes to come in and repair that poor structure. So basically, I'm looking for a breakout from this level around $13, and for us to come back up and retest this pivot high at 15. And then we do have a little bit of resistance here at 14. At a minimum, though, I am expecting this gap to get filled. I think it's like 1438 if I remember correctly. So that's ticker SOI, Solaris Oilfield Infrastructure. And then there's a very, very similar setup on ExxonMobil, ticker XOM. So you can see that we have this very nice area of consolidation right here. And it's already starting to break out just a little bit because it took out this pivot high. So like I said, I'm just looking for us to continue with the breakout, come back up. We have an unfilled gap right here as well, looking for that to fill, and then retest the pivot high up here at 62.52. So that's pretty much what I got for you guys this morning. We got about 15 minutes till the open. If anybody has equities they'd like me to check on their behalf, please throw it in the chat. Don't be shy. You're helping out your fellow traders by asking questions and whatnot. So let's get some engagement, guys. What are you trading this morning? And of course, if nobody posts anything, I'll just keep trucking through here and continue finding good setups for us. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's take a look back here at the S&P futures. So like I said, on Friday we closed on this very large spike. So anytime the market closes on a spike, it basically means that the market has yet to price itself in. So because the market is still imbalanced, it needs to find its equilibrium price. So basically, like I said, you close on a spike, the market is just running out of time at that point, and it's like an unfinished auction. So now we came back down. We retested the base of the spike, which was my line in the sand here at 39.35. We tested the base of the spike. We found buyers, and then we traded back up into the range, within the spike. We are remaining in balance now, which is a very good sign. We've got a D-shaped volume profile, so that confirms the imbalance. So this spike has been confirmed because we found equilibrium within the spike. Had we traded back down into the value area down here, that would mean that the imbalance was rejected, and therefore prices up here are unfair for the buyer. So this is definitely still bullish. Basically, what I'm looking for today, I'm looking for us to remain in balance, and I want to see us grind higher, and then ultimately retest Friday's high with a potential breakout, and then the all-time high shortly after that. So it's about 30 points. I think we're about 30, 35 points, something like that, from the all-time high right now. So it's very close, and also we're not far from 4,000 either. We're at 39.42 right now. I mean, we get 60-point days all the time. So, things could get crazy pretty fast. Anyway, so like I said, 39.35. This is my line in the sand. If the market opens and trades back down in the value area, I'm switching short pretty much immediately, and then I'd be looking for a retest of Friday's low, for us to come down here and then get a potential breakout. If it does, break short, this is a really big drop right here. We've got 3,900, big psychological number right here. Yeah, all the people that bought up here would be trapped at that point, so you get this massive flush down. That is my unlikely scenario, though. Just keep that in mind. I don't think that that's going to happen. My bias is still long. Okay, cool. Well, yeah, like I said, if anybody else has equities they'd like me to take a look at, please throw it in the chat. Also, Riot Blockchain had a potentially good setup here, because Bitcoin is bullish, and you can see that the price action is also pretty similar to Bitcoin. We had like this area of chop, and then a strong spike down, and then it V-bottomed, and consolidated. So basically, we're up about $1 in pre-market here. This is where we're currently opening at, this orange dotted line, SPCE. Got it. Okay, yeah, we'll bust out SPCE right after this. Yeah, Riot Blockchain, this could be a pretty decent setup. We also have a weak high right here. So I'm expecting the market to come up and take this out at some point. It's at 67.54. So I'd be looking for a long entry on Riot here for us to trend upwards, retest this 67.54 level, and get a potential break. So that's a pretty decent setup as well. Let's take a look at SPCE. So this is Virgin Galactic Holdings, and kind of similar to Riot in a way, almost, because we had an area of consolidation, big reversal, and then somewhat of a V bottom. However, the only thing that I would say is that when we bounced here, we had pretty big volume as we were bouncing, and this is more than likely primarily sell volume, not buy volume. And then you can see the volume after that is pretty minimal, which would definitely account for this kind of rounding top pattern. So, we are up a little bit in pre-market. This is where we're opening at. You can see the little tail I got here. The only thing that concerns me is the volume, basically. So, yeah, I mean, I potentially looking for a retest of this previous pivot high at the top of the rounding top. If we can get above that, I think this thing definitely has a chance. We'd have to get the break there, come back, maybe retest. That would be a good long entry, and then look for continuation. We do have some unfilled gaps here. Well, one unfilled gap, I guess two. There's a tiny one right there. So that would be good as a initial profit taking or whatever. And then ultimately this pivot high up here is 60, but like I said, it's all dependent on whether or not we can get the volume to get up there or not. So, and thanks, Wandering, I appreciate that. All right. So we got 9 minutes till the open here. One other setup I just wanted to mention here real quickly is on Walmart. Look at the size of this unfilled gap right here, guys. It is enormous. Enormous. That is like, what is that? 141 to 146. Yeah, it's like a $5 gap. Something like that. So, and also you can the price action on this is very healthy. So we had a little bit of a pullback here, but we have a nice, decent trend line. I'd be looking for either continuation and then a pullback, or pullback first, either or. In any event, I'm just looking for us to grind higher and fill this gap, and then test this pivot, up here around 150. So this is Walmart, ticker WMT. But yeah, like I said, that gap will not remain unfilled for long. At some point, the market's going to come in there and take care of that thing. And like I said, that's a $5 move just there. So, all right. If you guys haven't been following me on my other platforms, please do. You can see here, I've got my little link tree I can bust out for you guys here. So this is my website, my YouTube channel, and like I said, I'm streaming on YouTube as we speak, as well as TikTok, and I also have and you can see my full screen that way. And then I also have the weekend show. It's called the Weekend Wrap, and like I said, I go over news. I do good setups for the week. I do sector analysis, and I tell you guys which sectors are bullish, bearish, whatever. Like gold, for instance. Gold's been getting hard lately, and it's a little bit weird with the inflation and everything. But anyway, so I do have a Facebook page. It's not super active. And most of my TikTok stuff is also available on Instagram. My Twitter, though, if you guys want those really solid intraday updates when your bias, like I said, my bias can change at the drop of a hat. You might have a super bearish day and then immediately it V bottoms, and then 15 minutes later you're switching directions. So on Twitter, I am trying to give really current, accurate intraday call outs, that kind of stuff. So follow me on Twitter. Note the handle is the journals is just, there's no A in journals there, JRNLS. So not enough letters on Twitter available. All right, guys, we got 5 minutes till the open. So I got time for one more. If anybody else has a setup or anything they'd like me to take a look at, but if not, we'll just take another look at the S&P and check out the other indexes. Also, this is something that you guys should really be doing. So not only do I check the S&P every morning. Sorry, I gotta zoom out. I am watching all 4 of the major indexes. So you can see in the top left there we have the Russell 2000, top right we have the Nasdaq, bottom left S&P, bottom right we have the Dow. And I look at all of them and everything is relevant and important. Sometimes the Nasdaq will lead. Like you can see that the Nasdaq on the volume profile, we have a little bit more weight. Sorry, let me fix for YouTube. We have a little bit more weight on the top of the profile, which means we're getting more price acceptance at the high of the range. So the Nasdaq is kind of leading the S&P right now, which, like I said, that says a lot. And often enough, one index will kind of pull the other up with it. So, and then the Russell 2000, it's basically totally inside, but you can see that we have a lot of volume right here, and then we just have like a shelf with hardly any volume. So that basically means we have price acceptance like almost all the way up to the brim. So it's almost like that volume wants to spill over like a bucket or something. So that's very good when the point of control is weighted very heavily to the top of the range. And then of course I look at the S&P and gauge those characteristics, and then I look at the Dow. And the Dow is definitely the laggard right now. I mean, we are holding above the base of the spike, which is my line in the sand, but this is a relatively weak low. You know, this key level right here is has been tested twice, and like I said, the more times you bang on a key level, the more likely you are to break through it. So sometimes the Dow will break and it'll pull the S&P, or vice versa. Sometimes the Dow will break and then the S&P will actually yank it back up to where you get a false breakout. So it's really, really, really important that you're not trading in a bubble. You want to make sure that you're watching all 4 indexes if you can. So, whoops, sorry. All right, guys. Well, that's all I got for you this morning. Thank you so much for joining me. I will be on tomorrow at 6 a.m. Pacific time. And like I said, I'll be doing some intraday callouts on Twitter. So if you're a day trader like myself and you want those really accurate, up-to-the-minute callouts, please follow me on Twitter at TheTradeJRNLS. So in any event, thanks so much, guys. Yeah, you too, Wandering. Appreciate the engagement and everything as always. So I will see you guys tomorrow morning. Take care.